NDTV Auto Show. You are with me, Mugdha Mishra. Let's see what's on the show today. Hero Vida, TVS iQube and Ather 450 pitted against each other. Interview with Volvo Asia Pacific head. BMW electric SUV iX1 put through its paces. Say hello to Bajaj Freedom 125, first CNG plus petrol bike in the world. If you are in the market looking for an EV scooter, we are comparing three popular scooters to tell you which one is the better pick for you.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto, and today we have three electric scooters with us, three different brands and three different flavors in terms of pricing, design and performance. So today we have with us the Vida V1 Pro, the TVS iQube S and the Ather 450S. So which of these electric scooters makes the most sense for you? We'll find out in this video. But before we begin, please do subscribe to the NDTV Auto YouTube channel. Now all three scooters get a different design language. The Ather has a futuristic and an edgy design, while the TVS iQube has always had the look of a regular family scooter. The Vida V1 Pro is the one that divides opinion. It sure has an oddball design, but then that is also what separates it from the rest of the scooters. Alright, so the moment we talk about electric vehicles, the first question that comes in everybody's minds is the range and then the charging time. So beginning with the Ather 450S first, it has a real world range of 90 kilometers and a charging time of 8.5 hours. Well, the regular home wall charger, fast charging capability, it takes around 6 hours. Apart from that, if you're talking about the TVS iQube S, the real world range is 100 kilometers in the eco mode and it takes around 6 hours to charge fully. And lastly, if you talk about the Vida V1 Pro, the real world range is the maximum at 115 kilometers and the charging time is about 5.5 to 6 hours. Let's talk about the performance of these three electric scooters, starting with the Ather 450S. It is easily the most engaging, most nimble and the most sprightly scooter to ride within these three scooters. It's quite fast, the acceleration is quite fast, but the suspension setup is really stiff and you'll feel all the jerks and the bumps and the potholes on the road. And there isn't enough room for big size riders like me. But if you talk about the TVS iQube S, it's a proper family scooter, a traditional family scooter. It is the comfiest of the lot. The seat itself is very, very plush and the ride quality again is very, very pliant and very nicely set up. And lastly, talking about the Vida V1 Pro, it strikes a balance between sportiness and comfort, and the overall riding dynamics is somewhere between these two scooters. All three scooters get smartphone connectivity, turn-by-turn navigation and a USB charging port. But it is only the Vida which gets a touchscreen. The display on all three scooters is good, but we found the iQube to be the best in terms of legibility. All three scooters offer various riding modes too. In terms of quality and fit and finish, TVS and Ather are neck and neck, while the Vida needs some catching up to do. Let's talk about the prices of these three electric scooters, starting with the Ather 450S, which is priced at 1,03,000 rupees ex-showroom, while the other two, the TVS iQube S and the Vida V1 Pro, are priced at 1,30,000 rupees ex-showroom. Now do keep in mind that these prices are effective prices, which means they include the cost of the onboard charger, dealer discount and the state subsidy. After a day of riding these electric scooters in the scorching heat of Delhi, we have reached a verdict and it's quite a clear one. Well, if we are to consider the aggregate of price, performance and features, then you should put your money on the Ather 450S. Yes, it's a great scooter, really nice and engaging to ride, very nimble, gets a decent set of features. Yes, the ride quality is a little stiff and it gets the lowest true range amongst all these three scooters, but it makes for a good case if you want daily commutes to be nice and smooth. But if you prefer practicality and comfort and are willing to pay a little extra for it, then you have the option between the TVS iQube S and the Vida V1 Pro. Both scooters are similarly priced with similar specs in terms of features and performance, and the range of course is quite similar as well. So between these two, whichever one you pick will be good to go.
But if you want to pick the best of these three, then it is the Ather 450S that we recommend.
From EVs, let's now shift focus to alternate fuels. Bajaj Auto recently launched a CNG bike. Let's see what's special about it.
The wait is finally over as we now have the Bajaj Freedom, the world's first CNG motorcycle, hybrid motorcycle, CNG and petrol, right here in India. It has made its debut, and yes, it has been launched in India as well. So there are three variants on offer: LED with disc brake, LED with drum brake, and just pure drum brake variant. Prices range from 95,000 rupees to 1,10,000 rupees ex-showroom. And to begin with, the motorcycle will be on sale only in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and then this motorcycle will be launched in other parts of the country in a phased manner starting early next quarter. Now let's talk about this motorcycle. What makes this motorcycle special, apart from the fact that this is the world's first CNG motorcycle? So like you can see, the design is quite nice. It's actually a proportionate motorcycle. The seat itself is very long, 780 millimeter length. It's one of the longest seats in the motorcycle industry today, and Bajaj says this is the longest seat in the segment for sure. Then you have this tank here, 2 kg capacity of CNG and 2 liter petrol tank. So you get a total range of 330 kilometers. It gets a 125cc engine, 9.4 brake horsepower, 9.7 Newton meters of peak torque, and well, the running cost, as Bajaj says, is really low. And Bajaj also says that over a period of 5 years, you can save up to 75,000 rupees in terms of fuel. So let's sit on the bike and see how the ergonomics are. Very comfortable. The seat is really long, it is plush, it's comfy. The handlebar is somewhat narrow. It also gets a reverse LCD display right here, and it is also getting Bluetooth connectivity, particularly in the top spec variant. You also have a USB charger right here, and yes, the motorcycle is based on a steel trellis frame which acts as a cage for the CNG tank right here below the seat. So overall, this motorcycle, as you can see, it's a good endeavor from Bajaj Auto in terms of two-wheeler technology, presenting the world's first CNG motorcycle. Really nice, and we hope to ride it soon and bring you a nice comprehensive review on NDTV Auto. So what are your thoughts on the Bajaj Freedom, which promises to give you freedom from the expenses of fuel, from petrol, and really long range of 330 kilometers? What are your thoughts on this motorcycle? Do let us know in the comments below. Till then, take care and ride safe.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto. I have with me today BMW iX1, BMW's smallest EV in Indian market. This review is very special because though iX1 has been in Indian market for some time now, but its closest competition, Mercedes EQA, is going to get launched soon. So it makes better sense to review how this car performs so that you can make a better choice between Mercedes EQA and BMW iX1. So let's dive straight into it. Priced at 66.9 lakh rupees ex-showroom, BMW iX1 looks very similar to its internal combustion engine sibling, the X1, except for this closed-off grille in the front. You won't notice much difference. But the good thing about iX1 styling and X1 styling is that though this is the small size SUV, and most of the time these SUVs end up looking a lot more like a crossover, you get these BMW LED headlamps, very typical BMW design, crisp straight lines, 18-inch alloys, and because this is an M Sport trim, you get the M badging here. Flush door handles for better aerodynamics, and you can see the roof slopes down towards the rear, and the rear also looks quite attractive with these C-shaped LED tail lamps and a very aggressive looking bumper. The iX1 gets 66.4 kilowatt-hour battery, and it supports 130 kilowatt DC fast charging. The range that you get here is roughly around 417 to 440 according to WLTP. Let me show you the charging point as well. On top you have your AC charging, and below is the DC fast charging. Now, let me take you inside. Let's talk about the interiors. While on the move, we are a little short on time. Like on the outside, the interiors also are very similar to iQube X1. But let me tell you some of the key features that you get here. You get a touchscreen which gets BMW's iDrive 9, and it's very sleek and easy to manage. But you will notice that there are no buttons here. The center console is relatively bare. Most of the functions you have to manage from this screen, including selecting your drive modes, and that when you are on the move, managing that becomes a little bit of a challenge. And you get a lot of information on this driver display. But one thing that helps you manage all those commands a little better is the voice command. Hey BMW, switch off lane departure warning.
Are you sure that you want to deactivate the lane departure warning?
Yes.
Okay, I will deactivate the lane departure warning.
So that makes your life a little easier. You get a 10.7-inch instrument cluster, and both the screens, the touchscreen and the driver display, look like one unit curved towards the driver, makes it easier to see them. It gets a wireless charger where the mobile stands vertical and there is a band to hold it. You also get dual zone air conditioning, ambient lighting, rear seat reclining, 12 speaker Harman Kardon hi-fi speakers, and dual panel panoramic sunroof. I like the look of these interiors. Black and this dark brown material for the upholstery looks very nice, gives a sporty look, and then you have this satin finish metal. It looks beautiful. And this cabin is pretty practical too. You have a lot of space to keep your stuff. Under the armrest, you have this large area where you can keep your stuff. There's very little space directly under the armrest, and that opens only from the passenger side. In the door pocket, you have enough space to keep 1 liter water bottle. Rear bench is not wide enough, so you don't get very good thigh support, and you also sit a little knee-high position. So that's not a very comfortable seat. I think better suited for shorter journeys or for kids. iX1 gets dual motor setup, motors on each axles, and combined power output is 313 HP. Total torque is 494 Nm. That means iX1 is more powerful than the petrol or the diesel X1. And you feel it too when you drive it. It is really torquey. All that 494 Nm of torque is available to you every time you press the pedal, and it's served instantaneously. You feel it. 0 to 100 comes up very quickly in claimed 5.6 seconds, and when you drive it, this car feels real quick. You also get this boost mode where you get a lot of power for 10 seconds and the response becomes really quick. So the performance is really exciting, but the steering response is not what you would expect from a BMW steering. And also, on sharp corners, you will notice a bit of body roll. You also get some driver assistance systems. Brakes are really sharp. Ride is firm for Indian conditions. And as far as NVH is concerned, it's an electric vehicle. Of course, it's pretty quiet, but you do hear a bit of road noise. If you are in the market for an electric SUV priced between 60 and 70 lakhs, you have many choices, including the likes of Hyundai iONIQ 5 and Kia EV6, which offer much better practicality. But BMW's badge has its own value, and in case you have decided to go the German way, you have the big question of deciding between Mercedes EQA and BMW iX1. Well, between the two, iX1 definitely wins on the performance front. But if you are confused between these two, we must tell you that we will get you a comparison between these two very soon. So stay tuned to NDTV Auto. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a video. And don't forget to follow us on our various social media handles. Now let's focus on Volvo, which has decided to go completely electric by 2030. What are their India plans? I sat down with Martin Persson, APAC head Volvo brands, to talk about their India plans. What are your strategies? How are you planning to achieve a better growth in Indian market?
As always in our business, product comes first. You know, you need to have great products and you need to have products that attract consumers. So what we are looking at right now is quite an aggressive launch plan for products. We have a clear target of every year launch one BEV model in the market. And the next up is the iX30, which we are very excited about. The car is already launched in most markets globally, very well received, and I'm 100% confident it will also be well received in India.
Yes. EX30 is in a much easier price band, a lower price band compared to the products that we have seen from Volvo in India. Do you think it will help Volvo significantly increase its presence in India?
Definitely. I mean, that's the role of the car. It is, as the name will say, 30 at the entry level in our lineup. So of course the whole idea with that car is to attract consumers, preferably younger consumers, into the brand, and then we keep them loyal. So definitely that car will be a volume driver and significantly increase our sales.
You're quite focused on electrics, but what is your ICE strategy before we go on to electric? Let's talk about your ICE strategy. What is that that you're planning for internal combustion engines in India?
We believe, I mean, the ICE products are very competitive as well. So yes, you're right. There's a lot to talk about our BEV product, and it's natural because it's the future. That's where we are going. But we do have a lot of exciting news also on the ICE products, and one of the news is the E20 fuel, where the XC60 and the XC90 will be able to handle the E20 fuel.
Now let's focus upon the battery electric vehicles. You've already announced EX30, but you also got the single motor version of XC40. How is that performing? What has that done for you in the market?
I think it gives consumers a choice. You know, I mean, what kind of capacity do you need? Single motor, double motor, you know, it gives consumers a choice, which I think is key, that can do that. And as part of that, we are also then cleaning up our nomenclature. So it used to be the XC40 Recharge, but we are now cleaning it up, so we will call it the EX40 and the EC40, which used to be the C40. And that, of course, fits then into EX30, EX90. So it will be easier for the consumer to understand our electric lineup.
You know, you have a good portfolio of plug-in hybrids. I know the policy in India does not support that, but if that changes, how significant can hybrids be in the journey towards electrification? Yeah,
I mean, as you said, I mean, we have very strong plug-in hybrid products globally, and they're performing very well in many markets where the consumer might feel that stepping into a BEV is perhaps one step too far in the beginning. Then a plug-in hybrid can be a good step, so to say. But as you said, there are certain particularities in the Indian tax that makes plug-in hybrid a bit of a challenge here. And if that were to change, of course, that would make it easier for us to bring them in.
You know, recently Indian government announced EV policy where if you make an investment, you are allowed to import custom duty-free products. Is that something that excites you?
It's of course excites us from different angles. One I would say is because it means that the Indian government is focused on electrification, which is good for us. It stimulates the market. The pie is still small when it comes to electric sales. I'm talking the luxury. So anything that drives that, expands that market is good for us. And then of course it gives us a chance to evaluate different options, which is exactly the stage we are at right now. We are evaluating different options to see what is the best go-to-market strategy for India.
You are saying that India is going to give great growth. So if that's the case, do you think you are ready to put in a lot of money and make a big investment that is required in EV? EV policy?
As I said before, we understand that this growth will not come for free. We do have to do certain investments, whether that is in brand, marketing, etc., whether it's to the dealer network to help them expand, or the products. I mean, we do understand that it will take something from us.
Well, that's all from us today. Do join us next week and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on our various social media handles. Till we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.